morning, good afternoon, and welcome to today's Zoom meeting. Today's Zoom meeting is very important because we'll be discussing the core of this ROYALQ business today. Very practical, very practical, because we'll just be discussing about the business today, talking about different strategies, okay, and the results you should be getting. I know most of us have started trading and we have seen some results, okay. So I'll start. I don't know if we have any new prospects in this Zoom today, or we are just members. So if you are joining us today for the first time, please, can you use the chat button below? You can just type new. If today is the first time of you joining us in this Zoom, can you use the chat? If you look below, you see chat. Can you just type new? Okay. Greetings to my family. So I don't know. We don't have any. It's like we don't have any new we don't have a prospect. Okay. So go straight in. Today's topic is talking about ROYALQ strategies. Because most people, when they start ROYALQ, will say you can start with at least $100. Okay. In this strategy, we have introduced to you the normal Matingale strategy, where you start with maybe 15%, then the remaining money you can use $10 or $11 to buy each of the margins, and as you spray it to cover, depending on your capital, you'll be trading one coin. But what we observe is that those using that strategy, after like 3 to 4 to 5 days, and they have made small profits, and that coin they are trading, because of it's only one coin, once that coin dips down above what their $100 can cover, you will see that the robot will stop making profit for them. Before you know, they will be discouraged and saying, what kind of business is this? Okay. But the profit they were getting when they started using that settings was okay to them. But before small time, when the coin now dips, you see that the robots will not buy more margin calls. And because of they are new to the system, you see them complaining about not making profits. You see them complaining about their capital also reducing. Okay, so that is why we came up with the MACD strategy, which we have also explained how to use MACD. MACD means that it boils down to the starting. When should the robot start a trade? When should the robot start a trade? So MACD, look at the condition on the chart, look at the lines of the chart, and know when to start a trade. So MACD is more of entering a trade at the right best time. If you are using MACD is advisable for those that are just coming in newly. Like I'm going to share my screen at some point, and I will show you. There's one of my tenants that started. So what I did, it started with $100. So okay, I introduced the MACD to him. That was yesterday, and today he told me that the trade is no more running, no, because the robot has no bought. So I told him, okay, let's check your profit. He has made $0.4 from 2 trades. Even if he started with $100, so because of that MACD he is using, we started to, because MACD, it delays, number one, it delays from starting trades. Do you understand? It delays from starting, but it helps to control. I don't think the floating loss he recorded was just 0.2 when during the trade. The floating loss will not be much because, number one, when you're using MACD, you are exposing little capital as your first buy. You are exposing little capital as your first buy. So that once the robot sees a perfect entry, it will start with the small capital, maybe $5 or $10. Now, it's now also advisable when you are using MACD that you should use the default Matingale, that is the double, that is in times. So that even if you are starting with 5 or 10, but I noticed that if you are using Android or if you are using iPhone, yes, like it's for iPhone, you can't go, your first buy amount can't go below $10. But I think in Android you can set below $10 because he was using iPhone, so we are not able to set his first buy to be 5. So we set it at 10. But the joy is that after the robot sold, all through that yesterday, before the robot sold, it eventually started the two community coins, that is Solana and Ripple. And today it sold the two. Because of that coin is in cycle, and because of that trade is being set for MACD, till this evening, the trade have not started another one. Do you get the point? The robot has not started because it will wait for a perfect entry price. That is when that coin comes down again. So when you are using MACD will be used to control floating loss. If you are the type of person that say, no, I don't want floating loss. I want to limit, as in I want my floating loss to be reduced. But it also have the opposite. What it entails is that you will not be seeing, as in your profits, because of your little capital, maybe you are only opportune to start one coin or two coins. MACD can delay the number of trades you can get in that one or two coin you are trading. Even if the trade is on cycle, MACD can delay the cycle. You can see that your robot can start that trade just once in a day or 2 times in a day. So after it sells, because of the trade is on cycle, it will wait until that coin drops back and gets a perfect entry time before it will start. So if you are using MACD, you want to achieve two things. If you are the type that you don't like seeing floating loss, MACD is for you. If you are the type that you are not worried about the profits, but you are worried about your capital more of, you are worried about your capital. You don't want to see your capital going down anyhow. There's something I saw today that small profit is better than huge loss. Even if in ROYALQ we call it floating loss. But because of those people, your prospects that are just starting, they might not have the patience for this cryptocurrency trading business. That is why MACD is okay. So that they cannot, even if they want to complain that my profit is small, they can never complain that their capital has reduced drastically because of the floating loss will be very small because of you are using MACD and you are using the double times in your margin call. So the default is if the coin reduced by 3.5. Now look at it. MACD waits until the coin has gone down, a perfect entry time. Now, your first buy amount is 3.5 reduction. So you see, it will be even hard for MACD to be buying more margin calls. Because before MACD will start a trade, it must make sure that the coin has gone down and is about going up. So you see, before MACD, you see MACD buying margin calls up and down. It means that maybe there is a bad news in the market that affected the coin. But once there's no bad news in the market, when you use MACD, it's hardly before you see coin dipping more because MACD must wait for a coin to reduce before starting. That is why if you are using MACD, the robot might start a trade once. After it says it will delay, it can take up to 24 hours again before it starts that trade back because it must wait for that coin to go down, to reduce in value before it will start it again. So that is for MACD. Are you the type that values your capital more? You don't want to expose your capital like that. And you might have emergency that, I need to withdraw $50 from my capital. I need to liquidate. Maybe I have emergency. I need to liquidate. When you are using MACD, you know that, I started with $100 and MACD has made, in a space of 1 week, I've made $5 profit. And I want to liquidate my capital. It might be that your own capital is even sitting down in your exchange. MACD is still waiting for the coins to come down before it will not buy again. So you see, your capital has not been used by the robots to start to recycle that trade because of it's waiting for MACD's condition to be met. Let the coin reduce. So you see, when you are using MACD, your capital is always preserved than when you are using the normal Matingale strategy that the normal settings we do give you that one is we can reduce the margin if you are trading on cycle. Once the coin increase buys, it will say it will buy again at that high price. No, if you are using the normal default, the Martingale's normal without a MACD, if a coin starts increasing, it will be buying, it will be selling, give you profits. If that coin is on cycle, it will buy again at that high price. You will see that you tend to make more profits and you tend to record more floating loss. So you see, it's for you now to know which setting to use and the results you are expecting. There are some persons that can say, this $100, so at the month end, I might need like $50 for me too. This $500 at month end, I might need like 200 for me too. MACD is your calling. You are bothered about your capital, but you are bothered about not recording huge floating loss. So, and you are okay with the little profit that MACD will be giving you, because if you don't expose your capital to the market, you will not make huge profits. If you don't trade regularly, you will not make huge profits. But MACD will counter that because MACD will not be trading frequently. because it must monitor the market to know when to start a trade and when not to start. You can use MACD for one shot. I think I saw a question. You can use MACD for one shot. You can use MACD for cycle. If you are using it for one shot, once you activate the trade, it will not start until the condition is met. Once the condition is met, it starts the trade. Once it sells, it stop. That is one shot. Until you come and reprogram it maybe for that same coin or for another coin so that it can start again. But if you are using cycle, once it sells and give you profit, it will wait for that condition to be met. Let that coin reduce back. You can come back in 5 hours. MACD has dropped profit for you. MACD has not starts the trade because it's waiting. So you see, your capital will be like preserved, but you'll not be making profits than someone that exposes all his capital in the normal martingale strategy that once the coin increase, the robot says, let it buy again. It's increased, it sells again and give you profits. We have also introduced the strategy of the hit and run, where you expose all your capital in the first buy amount to start the trade. Or you set up your margin configuration, your margin cost to buy at a higher price, as in to buy with higher USDT, and you do your one shot. So I will share my screen. Let me show you my tenant that started with that did the MACD. So we'll see the profits he made. I hope you can see my screen. So yesterday, like we started this coin. We started the trade around this 11:47. Can you see my screen? Hello, can you see my screen?
Yes, please go ahead.
We started this trade. It started with $200 just to test the system, the business, which I introduced to him. So you can see we did Solana and Ripple around this time, 11:47. And this coin peaked around, that's when he checked it, around 5:39. It has peaked the two. You can see the floating loss. I don't know how many hours this trade have. I did not check. He did not check the time he started the trade, but you can see the unrealized floating loss there is minus 0.02. 0.12%. You see that even though his repo has done minus 0.4% dip, he exposes his first buy as $10, $10. The first margin should be 3.5% reduction to buy 2 times the first buy, which is 20. So look at the time he sent me that, and I told him, great, it has started. 5:39. Okay, now I think today he now sent me this. I was not surprised that what is happening? Is it that because I know he was having network issue. His network is bad. So, I think for iPhone, if your network is bad, you'll be getting this please bind API before trading. You'll be getting this error. So I now told him to check the notification. So when he checked the notification, I now saw this. So his Solana sold yesterday at 7 p.m. 7, this 19 is 7 after 7. Then his Ripple sold today, this morning, around 3:31. Now, because of he's using MACD, look at the time the two trades sold. Solana sold since yesterday. Solana sold since yesterday, 7:30, around 7 minutes past 7. That was when the Solana sold. And this trade is on cycle. It did not start since yesterday, 7. Ripple sold around 3 this morning. And up till today, 5:47, the trades have not started. They have not started. So that is but now I now told him, okay, let me go and check his profit. So you see, his profit is 0.4. Now the good news of MACD is that this is little profit, but his $100 is seated intact in his exchange, plus this 0.4. Now, that his trade is on cycle, but MACD has not peaked. I don't know if he has peaked now, but the last time we chatted by 5, it has not peaked. So you see what I was explaining. If you are the type that you want huge profit, you go with the if you don't care about huge floats, it's just like the higher your risk, the higher you expose your capital in the market, the higher your profits. But if you want to conserve your capital, you are okay with the little profit. I think if the robot continues like this with these 2 coin on MACD, I don't know if he will make up to 10%. 10%. 10% of $100 should be $10. So I want to believe that the robot should be able to make $10 for 1 month, or more than $10 for 1 month, and having his capital preserved. So that is the point of this MACD. So I believe that those that, if you see your prospects coming in, please start MACD with them. Set up MACD for them. You can see if it is our normal Matingale strategy, I will not allow him to trade 2 coins with $100. It's not possible. And maybe if he has started trading 1 coin with that $100, I don't think if he would have made up to that 0.4 as his first profit. So I hope you are getting the point. I hope you are getting the point of this MACD, the hit and run. Now, I don't know the hit and run. Let me also talk on some part of the hit and run. The hit and run now, it will not be you doing the robot's work of that MACD. Looking at the charts, looking at, okay, this coin has gone down for so long, it has been down, and is about going up. This coin has gone down, maybe a coin that you know. like 1,000 starts, you know it. And you have been seeing this coin, this coin that is on $8, but for the past 1 month, you have seen it has reduced to like $5. It has stayed $5 for more than 1 month. And you have seen it going 5.5, 5.6, 5.76. You enter one shot, hit and run, put all your money. Two things are involved. The flow continues, you get your 2% of your whole money, your whole capital. That is hit and run. Or there's a news, immediately you start, there's a news in the market and that coins dip again. Remember, if it goes your way, you get 2% of your $100, which is big. That is hit and run. The risk is there that not you losing your money, but once that coin dump, because of you did not set up margin calls, you will see that you will not be making profits. If that coin stay 1 month there like that, you will not make profits. So hit and run is advisable for someone that, yes, he can see USDT tomorrow. He can have money tomorrow to buy USDT to add to his capital. Someone that has access to money, that is the people that are advised to do the hit and run. So that if they get stuck, if they use like 200 to do first buy, and maybe that first one gives them the 2%, they get 2% on $200 and they do it again. And that one now goes down. They are now seeing minus 10% deep, floating loss, minus 10%. Remember, in hit and run, as you are seeing big capital, that is how your floating loss will also be big. And the hit and run disadvantage is that you will not be making sub-beam profits, except you now re-edit the settings and add more USDT to now open more margin calls, to open margin calls for it. That is when you will now start getting sub profits. Okay, so apart from that hit and run, please, if your new prospect comes in, you are advised to set up this MACDs for the person. MACD is sweeter. You see, $100 you can trade 2 community coins. At least you can set up 2 margin calls for it, for the 2 trades, because it's likely hard for them to dip like that. Because before the robot will start the trade, it must make sure that the trade has gone down before it will start. That is why it takes time for the robots to start a trade with MACD. It must make sure that the coin has gone down before and it has reached that lower than 0 in the line of the MACD before it will start. So even if a coin has pumped and refused to come down, MACD will not start that coin. So that is why you see it's advisable that those that have like $500, $1,000, and they want to do MACD, they can set up as many as 20 community coins. Because there's no how MACD will start up that 20 at the same time. You understand? You get the point. There's no how MACD will start up all those community coins at the same time. So now let it not be that you now use one coin and you are trading MACD in all through one day. The robot did not start up a trade and you start saying, This business is it for me. The profit is very small. So it's for you to decide which one you want so that you no come and complain to anybody. You have the three strategies in your hand. Which one you want? We have the one giving people millions. We have the in a day. We have the ones that they are preventing those people giving millions. They can also be in the floating loss of millions in a day. So it's two ways for that one. Then we have the one that your capital is preserved for you, making you small profit. Like they say, small profit is far better than huge floating loss. So that is it. That is it for the training. I don't know if we have any question already. Okay, I think we have questions. Can MACD be used for one shot? Yes, I've explained that. Okay. I don't know what they say. Okay. Ijoma and say, if I have a running trade already, can I start another trade with MACD? Yes, depending on your capital. That your running trade, I hope you have covered at least 50% margin drop on it. I hope you have added USDT to that trade that is running. At least you have added, at least you have budgeted at least $300 for it. So any money you want to add now, you can now use it to start another trade with MACD. Thank you. So Mustafa say higher the risk, higher the profits. Yes, higher the money you expose to the market. It's just like if you expose $100, me I now expose 1,000, and we collect 2% profit. My own must be higher than your own. Now, if the reverse is the case, if you are in floating loss of $20, me I will be in floating loss of $100. So that is just it. Okay, so Sachidi said, how do we set up MACD for any coin? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. Let me just show you how. I'm going to share my screen so I can show you how to set up MACD. Can you see my screen?
No.
Hello? Okay, let me see. Okay, you can see my screen now.
Yes.
Okay, to set up MACD, once you have seen the coin you want to trade, you go to trade settings. After you have set up your first buy amount, you can off the AI margin calls or you on it depending on how you want it. Depending on if your capital is small, you on your AI margin calls. Because of his MACD you want to use, you can just off it because MACD before it starts, if it delays. If you now on AI and MACD, it's like you want to trade only one, you want the robot to execute one trade in a week for you. So you can just off it since you want to use MACD. Then you set up your margin call limit depending on your capital. But MACD is in this advanced settings. This one they wrote advanced settings optional. So when you click on it, like I told you, MACD boils down to the first buy triggering condition. The first buy triggering condition. This place they wrote first buy triggering condition. So if you click on this target price, which is the default, you will see it has target price. it has ROSI, it has KDJ, and it has MACD. So you click on MACD. Then you must set the line trigger to be lower, lesser than 0. That coin that is up must come down. When it's lower than 0 in the MACD line, the trade will now start. Your robot will start. Okay? When the coin is lower than 0. So this is just what you set for the MACD. Then you start. So you see the first buy triggering condition is now based on MACD when the line trigger is lesser than 0 before it will start this trade. So whether you are using one shot or whether you are using cycle, whether you're using one shot or whether you are using cycle, you can use MACD. Can use MACD. But if you want to use cycle, is sweet. When you use cycle, that means even if the coin increase and the robot sells, it must wait because you're using MACD. It must wait. You can even come back 5 hours and you see that the robot have not started the second cycle for you. You understand? Until the condition is met. So that one, it will preserve your capital because it will not be entering trade like that until condition is met before it will start the trade again. You understand? Gives you profits. Wait until the condition has been met. So with that waiting for coins to come down first before it starts, it will emulate your huge floating loss you do have before. Okay? So let me see if we have another question. Okay, someone said, Joe Felix, how can we activate 2 coins with MACD at the same time? Okay, you can trade 2 coins now. You can trade more than 2 depending on your capital. If you are using MACD, you can start a Solana like my tenant. We started Solana with the MACD. We activate the coin, it started trading, and we go back to home page, search for Ripple. We activated it with MACD settings again, and we started, and the 2 trades started running. So that is how you can activate 2 coins with MACD. You understand? But it's advisable. MACD is sweeter when you have capital and you now select like 5 community or 10 community coins. You see that why this one is waiting, this one is starting, this one is trading, why this one is waiting for the golden line to come down minus to come down to lower than 0. It's starting uh, he's starting other coins. So that is it. It's advisable like that. So Joe Felix, you can trade more than 2, 3 depending on your capital. So it's just the same way you're trading others, you also trade. Just that the settings, you must put the triggering condition, the first buy triggering condition to be MACD, and the golden light should be lower than 15. So that is it. Okay. Yes, we can see. Okay. NSA, please, what's the meaning of MACD 12, 26, 9 numbers in the brackets? Yes, those numbers in the MACD line, they have the orange line, they have the 3 lines. So these 12, 26, they are positions on the chart. They are position of the line. They have 3 lines. MACD has 3 lines. So the yellow distance, so all these things are position. If you do geography, there's one mass, the mass of other mass. When you put this one, they can get the exact position on the chart. Okay. Now, okay. So do you have any other questions? Um, Chidi, thanks, Chief. Clearly understood now on MACD training. Okay, you're welcome. So please, do we have any other? Wow. 54. Do you have any other? Ernest, do you want to speak with us, or we have answered your question?
Yeah, Brother George, good evening. I have a question.
Okay, you can go ahead.
All right. I want to know like what amount of capital, what amount of USDT is advisable to use while using MACD strategy. Just like Matingale strategy, we advise to trade like at least 300 and above for one coin.
Okay.
Yes, please.
Mm.
If you are using, yeah, what amount is advisable to use for this market strategy?
Okay. Okay. The default for we are, when I said it's advisable to use the default of Martingale is that you don't edit it. The first buy is 2 times. The second buy is 4 times. So if you are starting and your first buy is $10, because of you are advised, enjoyable when you activate like 10, 20 coins, 20 community coins. So that is why your first buy will not go above 10, uh because of your first margin buy will be times 2. That is you are starting with 10, the first margin is times 2, which is 20. 10 plus 20 is 30. If it goes down, the third buy is, I think, 8. 8, that is 10 times 8 is 80. That is your third margin. Your robot will be using $80 to buy the third margin. That is 30 plus, the first one is 2. Okay, sorry, the second one is 4. 4 times 10 is 40. Okay, for people that want to use two margin calls, let's just work with two margin calls. That is 7.5% deep. Since Martingale is default, is MACD you want to use, at least the coins will not dip like that to pass 7, except there is any, except we have a bad news for that coin. But since you are using MACD, before it will start that coin, you must make sure that the coin has gone down in price first before starting. So if you can see, if you are using first buy as 10, the margin, your first margin is 20, your second margin is 40. 40 times 12, 40 plus 20 is 60, plus 10 is $70 already. If you are now okay, if you add the third margin, maybe just add the third margin so that your drop can cover, I think 7.5 plus 4 should be 11.5 for 12% dip. So that one is perfect if you have the money. That is, it will not be the first buy 10, your first buy $10, your first margin 20, that is 30, your second margin is 40, that is 70, right? 70. Your third margin is 80, that is $150. So you can budget $150 for one community coin. That is, your first buy is $10, you are using 3 margin calls. That is $150 for one coin. So if you want to do like 20 coins, it will be 150 times 20. That should be your capital. If you want to do like 10, the 150 times 10, that is $1,005 to set up 10 coins with the MACD. The advantage is that your robot will not be exposing your capital. So it will not be like the one that you will get a new member and the person will start complaining that since I started, only the robots only gave me profit for 1 week, the second week nothing. So it's better that kind of complaining is worst. It's better the person is complaining that my robot is not using my capital, but I'm seeing small small profits. That one is better. At least they will know that yes, they will be focused on learning more, learning more You understand? That is why we are saying now that in our team, it's advisable start with MACD for your new members, so that as their robot is doing the work for them, they are attending Zoom meetings to learn more about other strategies, so that when they are now okay to undertake those strategies, they know that they have tested the normal Martingale strategy, they have tested the MACD. Now they want to test the hit and run. They have seen 3 different results. So them themselves, they will not have any reason to come and complain to you in any of them they do, in any of the strategy they use. They already know the outcome for each one. You understand? So, but always start with MACD for them. Okay, so thank you. Ernest, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah,
Okay.
yes, you did justice to that. But I want to add, like, if you are intending to trade like 10 coins,
If we are what?
and if you want to trade, maybe if you have 1,000, okay, let's say if you have 1,500 USDT and you open 20 coins,
Mm.
is it advisable to, maybe if 10 triggers, to cancel the remaining ones so that you can be able to carry your
To
capital?
manage the
Yes,
capital.
yes.
Yes, yes, it's advisable. That means you must be monitoring it to know that
Okay.
10 has peaked, so you can pause, you can just deactivate the remaining 10. Yes, you have to monitor when you start up plenty coins with MACD, depending on your capital. You monitor if the robot, because you will not know the trade, the robot will pick first. You understand? So you just have to monitor to make sure that, oh, the robot have started 10, oh, and this 10 is 1,500 capital, and that is what I have. So you deactivate the remaining 10, you pause them. So that is it. So you are cool, right? Okay. So we have another question. Can we edit already running trades to MACD? Yes, but it will be at the next cycle. You can always edit. It will be at the next cycle when the robot sells that trade. I want to start again. MACD is about the first buy entry when a trade wants to start. So if you edit it, it will take effect from the next buy. But your margin calls that you set, your margin calls that we set will take effect immediately. But your when the trade wants to start another cycle, that is when the MACD it will monitor that, make sure that the trade has come down with according to the MACD settings before it will not start the trade. Okay. So South said, what is the minimum amount to trade with MACD strategy? I just explained. My tenant, he started with $100 and I set up 2 trades for MACD. You understand? And the 2 sold. You understand? But with what I explained now, having 150 for one coin is better, so you can achieve 3 margin calls. You understand? You can achieve 3 margin calls. To achieve 2 margin calls, that is $70. $70 for one coin to achieve 2 margin with the MACD. Okay, so Dove said, when is sub-in mode enabled? Sub-in mode is enabled when your margin calls is above 4. Your margin call limit is above 4. That is only when you can activate your sub-in mode real-time settlement. Please use sub-in mode real-time settlement. Don't use only the sub-in mode. Use the sub-in mode real-time settlement, and you can only activate it when your margin calls is above 4. The margin call limit is above 4, and you have set up or confirmed your distributed and take profits ratio. You must set it because that is where the subbing will be taking the take profit percentage from. Okay. So Lucy said, my prospect is in the house, so he can understand the business. Nice one for bringing in your prospects. So I don't know if the prospects Galaxy tab. If you are here and you have any questions to ask, you can use the chat, or you can click on the reaction and raise your hand, so you can talk to us if you have any other if you have question to ask. Okay. My question is answered. Thanks. You're welcome. Okay, Dave says, sir, please, what are the second and third margin calls? And yes, the default, the second is 4 times. The third is 8 times. That is the default. The first one is 2 times. The second margin is 4 times. The third margin is 8 times. Yes. So that is it. Okay, OBO said, please, can one start the trades to be running? Can one start the trade to be running, then change to MACD strategy? Since the golden cross sometimes takes time to start. the then it means that you're not ready for the MACD now. The MACD is getting a good entry price. Better go do it and run. MACD, if you are using MACD, is to get that good entry price. So if you cannot wait because it's taking a lot of time, that means you are not ready for MACD, because that is what MACD is all about, preserving your capital. If you don't want your robot to preserve your capital because you want profit fast or quick, you want your money to be in the market so you can get profit, then MACD is not for you. Thank you. Okay. If you start your trade and later activate MACD, it will be anytime that your trade sells. That is when MACD will now come into play. Okay. So Jen to say, can we have the 150 MACD strategy so we can use it? Yes, I've explained it. It's very simple. I've showed my screen. Use the default, the normal, the Matingale's default. Your margin call limit will be 3. Your margin call limit will be 3. Your first buy will be $10. If you go to margin configuration, you will see it there. It will be 248. 3.5 reduction for the drop, the first one. The second one, I think the second one is 4%. The third drop is 4.5. That is the default. So you see it there, default. Then you go to your we have explained how to set up the MACD. You just change the first buy triggering price to MACD. Then you change the line trigger to lesser than 0. So that is just it. You save. Okay. So JP said, please explain the double up strategy and can it be used for the MACD? That is what I said. The double up is the default for the Matingale strategy. That is the first buy. The first buy is 2 times. The second buy is times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. It has doubled the second buy, which is 4. The third is 4 times 2, that is 8. It has doubled the second to 8. That is the doubling up for the times. So you can use it for your MACD strategy. At least it will help. It will help because the program, ROYALQ program that double up because it's because of we don't have capital. It's because of we want to edit our times to match our capital. That is why we are not using the default settings for ROYALQ. If you have capital and you have used that double up, the normal Matingale strategy. 2, 4, 8, 16, 32. If you have capital to use that times, you will see that you will not even be having floating loss. Do you know why? Let me explain it. It's just because of we lack capital here in Nigeria. That is why we are even seeing floating loss. ROYALQ is designed to work that way, that Matingale's way of doubling up.
Attention sórí bẹ́ẹ̀ tá a máa
South. Okay. So let me explain to you. That floating loss we are seeing is because of we have edited the default of ROYALQ. Now, let me give you an example. If you go to the market to buy one bag of rice is sold at maybe 60, let's say 80,000. 80,000, you bought it, one bag of rice, 80, to sell in your shop. Now, maybe after the next day, bag of rice is now selling at 60,000. Okay, no, let me not jump like that. You bought the first one at 80,000. Bag of rice now reduced, is now selling at 75,000. Do you understand my point? You are into rice selling. You went to the market to buy one bag of rice, one, so that you can sell in your shop. You bought it at 80,000. You brought it, the one bag, to your shop. Now, the next day that you are supposed to sell, bag of rice in the market now reduced to 75,000. You know you cannot sell that your bag of rice. You know what ROYALQ did? ROYALQ programmed it that when you go to the market to buy the next bag of rice, you will buy two bags. Now, you go to the market, you buy 2 bags at 75. Now you have 3 bags of rice in your shop. One, you bought it at 80,000. The second one, you bought it at 75,000. Do you know that if bag of rice price increase to, do you know that 80,000 you bought that one, that price, you have reduced it? Do you know that the price, the initial price you bought that 80,000, that first bag of rice, 80? Eh? Do you know that if you sell the 3 bags of rice at 80,000, you have made profits, no floating loss? No floating loss. Even though that you bought a bag of rice 80,000 and you are selling it at 80,000, you are making profits because of you doubled up. Your profit is now on the lower, the 75 you bought 2. That's lower because you bought double quantity. Their profits there, you will now use to augment the profit you would have made in your first bag of rice. That is the secret behind the double up Matingale strategy. They did that. You just imagine you use $10 to start a trade. The coin now drops by 3.5%. You now use times 2, that is $20 to buy that coin. The price you bought the first one, $10, that price will reduce because of you have doubled up. Now imagine it now drops by 4%. You now use times 4. You now buy times 4 before you have 1, which is the first buy, and you have the first margin, which is 2. You doubled. You have 3. But on the second margin, you bought 4. Your quantity you are buying at a cheaper price is higher than the quantity you have already. 4 is bigger than 3. So the price will augment those ones. Now it gets interesting when you now go to the third margin. You are buying times 8. So you see, the more the price of that coin is going down, than normally you should be recording huge floating loss. If you are using the normal default Matingale strategy, your floating loss will not be huge. It will be adjusting because of you are buying more quantity at a cheaper price. You'll be using the price of this quantity you bought to augment those ones that are should be already in floating loss. But because of the quantity you are buying at the bottom is huge, it will be augmenting those ones. You will not make loss there. So that is the secret behind the Matingale strategy. So I don't know if we have any questions. For our new, I think they say we have a new prospect. For our new prospect, please, do you have any question? Wow, we reached 50 something today. Please, do you have any other question? Please don't forget, once you bring a new member, please set up the MACD for them. Set up the MACD for them. Then the recording of today's Zoom will be posted. Then you can share the link to them. Let them go and watch today's, so they will know that yes, when they start complaining that they are getting small profits from the MACD, you will now explain these 3 strategy that okay, look at this other one. Do you want to go and try it? So when they try it and see the result, they will check which of the result they want, because nobody can eat. How did they say? You can't eat your cake and have it. You can't reduce your risks and expect huge returns. You can't reduce the exposure of your capital in the market and you expect huge returns. So it's better you focus on having smaller profit. It's better you focus on having small profits and preserving your capital, because they said small profit is better than huge floating loss. Thank you. So I don't know if we have. Okay, not sharing. I can take it. You can take it. Because me, I want to even go. I want to drink water.
All right. Thank you so much, Leader Judge. Do we have any other question before we round up? While we wait, if there are questions, you can unmute yourself and ask a question or use the chat box. So can we use the double up strategy without using MACD? And which is more better? Yes, you can still use the double up strategy without using MACD, obviously. It's called the Matingale strategy. Thank you, Leader George. From Anne. All right, do we have any other question? You can use the chat or meet yourself. We have our Zoom every day. So we have our Zoom from Monday to Friday, 8:30 p.m. Nigerian time. Monday, 8:30 p.m. Tuesday, 8:30 p.m. Wednesday, 8:30 p.m. Thursday, 8:30 p.m. Friday, 8:30 p.m. Then Saturday and Sunday, our Zoom is 5 p.m. So weekdays, 8:30 p.m. and then weekend, it is 5 p.m. We are always here at our Zoom time. We are always here sharing knowledge. You can use the same link. Yeah, we always have the same link. Our Zoom link is the same. So you can always use that same. You can save it. And then when it's time, 8:30 weekdays or weekend, 5 p.m. Use the same link to join us. So I believe we do not have any other question. All right, the recordings also will be out on our YouTube channel and it will be sent out. So you can always rewatch it to refresh your memory. We also have a whole lot of videos on there, a whole lot of videos, different topics on our YouTube. The one that is specifically for hit and run, that is manipulation of strategy, manipulation of trade. And then also the MACD strategy, a specific video also for MACD strategy. You can watch that on our YouTube channel and learn. Please try as much as possible to always attend Zoom classes. It's very, very important. You need knowledge. You learn first before you earn. So after the robot buy the dip like twice, is it until it gets back to the original take profit set to sell everything, or does it sell the buy gradually? Depends if you are using, depends on your strategy mode. Depends on your strategy mode. So if you are using sub-B mode real-time settlement, it's going to be selling your margins. And also if you are using the double up strategy, it reduces your average price. I believe that's what Leader George explained. So yes, if you are using the double up strategy, it enables the robot to reduce your average price. So maybe, for example, if initially your robot was supposed to get to a take profit and the coin is supposed to sell at $3. If you are using the double up strategy, you won't need to wait for that coin to pump to $3 again. It can sell at let's say $2.5 or $2.7. So that's what the double up helps you do. It reduces your average price so you can get out of the market faster. Good evening, sir. Please, does it mean that using MACD cannot give us daily money? Because many people have lost money on CBEX and we need money to cover up. So are you a member of ROYALQ? If you are a member of ROYALQ, please leave Ponzi scheme alone, I beg. Leave shiny objects alone and focus on ROYALQ. Okay? We are not saying that you cannot make money every day on MACD. I've been testing the MACD strategy for like a couple of days or weeks, and I've been making profit every day. Okay, so it depends on your capital, depends on the amount of trade you set, and obviously that boils down to your capital. Very important. It depends on your capital. So of course, it's just that the MACD, the profit is not as huge, but is very consistent. Very consistent. Since I've been using the MACD for, I think, like over a week, the highest my trade have stayed in the market is 2 days. Yeah, 2 days. Or let me say 3 days, yeah. And the floating loss is not so huge. So it tends to sell fast. Your trades, like I said, max, my trade has stayed for only 3 days. And also remember that the take profits, very important, that take profits, it shouldn't exceed 2%. So that you take sharp, and then it goes again, take. So 1.5, at least, maximum of 2%. Don't exceed more than 2%, please. It's better for it to sell quick. When it sell quick, it rinse and repeat, continues the cycle again. Please, what is the YouTube channel? Do we have our admins here or leader that can send our YouTube channel? Yeah, so my sister, Leader Aminata is here. Consistent profits are more better than waiting for long. Yes, especially for newbie. If you've not summoned courage for these patients that most of us that are oldies have. For new people, they don't have that kind of they don't have that kind of patience. So it's better. Consistent profit is better than waiting for long. You are very right, my leader. You're welcome, Leader Aminata. The name of our YouTube channel is ROYALQ Team Digital Gold. I don't know. Can any of our admin post the link, please, or our leaders? Thank you, Jerry, Mr. P. So Mr. P have posted our YouTube link, so you can go to our YouTube link and watch videos, follow up on videos, and yeah, make sure you very, very, very important. A lot of you like to hold your upline accountable. You have to do something, you have to do your own part too. Leaders are doing their part, so you have to do your own part. We have to meet in the middle. We're hosting Zoom meetings and you don't come. And you're looking for somebody to blame it on, that you're not doing well in the business. If leaders are showing up, you have to show up too. And then everybody will be happy. So thank you so much, everyone. Today was amazing. Like I said, we're always here every day, 8:30 p.m. Weekdays, same link. And then weekends, 5 p.m. Nigerian time. Have an amazing, okay, it's not the weekend yet. Well, have an amazing day. Tomorrow is the weekend. Make sure you enjoy yourself. Keep learning. Very, very important. If you don't learn, you will not earn. And you will be wondering how people are making profits. It's because they are learning. Thank you so much, everybody. Leader George, thank you so much for the presentation. And to everyone here today, you all are amazing. Thank you for showing up. Goodbye until tomorrow. Bye, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, my leader.
Night.